Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Iceberg Lounge. We're your hosts. I'm Thomas Single, and with me is Randy Dobbins.
Hello.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about Will Smith being banned by the Oscars and kind of what I think is a deeper history leading up to this point. So yeah, let's get into it. So, as we know and has been talking about for a couple weeks now, about the Will Smith, Chris Rock, Oscar fiasco, where Will Smith came up and slapped Chris Rock in the face for saying a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. But I think it goes deeper than that, and so if we go back, Will Smith actually married Jada Pinkett in 1997.
What? I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, you wasn't born yet? When were you born again?
October
of
97.
Of 97. Okay, so they married.
Relatively close to mine.
Yeah, I was a couple years old. I was in 95. But here's the thing when it comes to their relationship, it seems. Jada Pinkett always, I feel like, wanted and loved Tupac more than Will Smith.
I mean, who wouldn't? Have you seen Tupac?
And it's one of those things to where I feel like all these years, Will has been in Tupac's shadow trying to escape it because he wants her to love him and want him as much as she did Tupac.
Yeah, because when all this happened, I seen memes of him slapping Chris Rock, and I was like, it shows like Jada Pinkett Smith and him. It's like Tupac would have shot him.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's just like I heard that the reason Jada and Will even got married was because she got pregnant.
Yeah.
And like that was the only reason.
And I heard recently that she doesn't even really want to be married to him.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you are going through all of that and then you go through the years, let's hop forward to when she brought him on her, I think, podcast / Facebook show. I think it's called The Red Table, I think.
I'm not sure. I believe it is.
And they basically talked
about her quote unquote entanglement. But here's my thing though. I'm gonna say this. If it would have been switched and Will Smith would have had an affair with either Jada or Willow's female friend, it would have everybody been
creepy.
It would have been not only that, it would have been called an affair, not an entanglement.
Exactly. And then they basically talked about it to the world. And then I feel like Will, because like then they said, was like, oh, it's been an open marriage and everything like that. This kid was like 20 and was her son's friend.
Yeah. Even if hypothetically it was an open marriage, why would you go for your son's best friend? That's some porn top stuff right there. I hate to say that, but
it's one of those things to where, like, I feel like Will was forced to agree that it was an open marriage. I feel like it wasn't an open marriage until it was brought to public, and that's when Will, to try to save face and try, I guess, to keep Jada happy, said, yeah, it's an open marriage.
I hate to say this, Will Smith's too good for her.
But think about this. If it's an open marriage, why would a guy like Will Smith not also be
getting other girls.
entangled with other girls.
Yeah.
You don't see him with no one else.
That's what I was about to say. Like, if it was an open marriage, why did she say it was an entanglement?
Exactly.
Why did she say it's an entanglement, not, we have an open marriage? Why didn't you say that at the beginning of this whole thing?
And so then you have, at that point, social media all over the world, like, making fun of y'all's marriage.
Yeah, because, like, if you go back and watch it, Will Smith is literally trying to hold back tears.
Yeah, or talking about the Oscars?
No, when
oh yeah,
on Jada's like podcast talk show.
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
He's literally trying to hold back tears. Like, he was so upset.
And so now we hop to 2016, and Chris Rock at the time was hosting the Oscars, if I remember correctly, and he made a joke about Jada, because Jada was apparently boycotting the Oscars because Will wasn't nominated for a movie or a role he did. And Chris Rock basically made a joke about it that says it's hard for you to protest something that you wasn't invited to.
Yes. Which I honestly thought was hilarious.
And I feel like that was the first kind of thing to provoke her, because now if we look forward to what happened this year, she already had a pretext against him.
Yeah.
And so now, fast forward to this year's Oscars, if you also notice, Will and Jada wasn't even sitting with each other.
They were
they were next to each other, but they wasn't sitting beside each other.
Because there was like a table or something in between them.
It was so weird.
Because what is weird is I got home slightly before that from work, and I sat down and started watching it, and I was like, okay, I wanted to watch the them do We Don't Talk About Bruno sing it at the Oscars. I was like, I want to watch that. And then I was sitting there, watching it, and then what happened.
Mm. And so you have Chris Rock saying this joke. Now, before this, Jada came out and announced that she has alopecia.
This was 2018, I believe, when she announced it.
And she posted a video saying that, she didn't care if people made fun of her. And like stuff like that. Like, she's gonna rock it, do her thing. Well, then Chris Rock makes a G.I. Jane joke.
What was to me at least, a very tame joke.
Like, it could have been way worse. And if you look, before the incident, Will was laughing at the joke.
Yeah.
Will was laughing at the joke, but Jada wasn't.
And then Jada looked over at him, and I would assume when it panned back to Chris, said something.
And I feel like if she just looked at him, or she said something to him, it might have been like, are you going to really let him do that to me? Or the look might have made Will feel like she was saying Tupac wouldn't have let this happen.
Yeah.
Because he's honestly probably constantly thinking about it. Because even Will said he was jealous of their relationship.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, he gets up, walks up on stage in front of the world, slaps Chris Rock, comes back, sits down,
and yells at him, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth.
Exactly, twice. But here's the thing. At that point, he was close to tears because I feel like he knew what he did was going to ruin his career. And it's all because I feel this goes all the way back to Tupac, because he knew that Tupac would have done something. And so if he doesn't do something, he's going to hear it at the house that, well, Tupac would have done something.
Here's my thing, though, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to see my piece on it. If Will Smith wasn't who he was, if he wasn't a rich actor, he would have been arrested on the spot.
And he was asked to leave that night, and he refused.
Yeah. If he wasn't who he was, he would have been arrested.
And see, here's the thing when it comes to Will. Even after he did all that and came back and sat down, I still feel like Jada would be like, I feel like I really know this. Jada would have been like, if it was Tupac, he wouldn't be almost crying afterwards right now.
Not only that, Tupac would have shot him. It's probably what she would have said.
Like, the demasculization of Will Smith and the breaking down of Will Smith, I feel like, has been happening since 1997, and this is finally him hitting rock bottom. Because he's trying to do as much as he can to get out of Tupac's shadow and to get her to love and want him as much as she did Tupac. And I feel like that will never happen. I feel like Jada is manipulating him. But going back to what you just said, he should have been escorted out of there and arrested for assault.
Yeah, because even Chris Rock was like, I don't want to press charges.
Yeah, he didn't press charges, but he still should have been detained until they got to that fact of asking Chris if he wanted.
Yeah, because if it would have been me or you had went up there and had slapped or hit Chris Rock,
we would be in jail.
One, we would have been, cops would have been on us the second we walked on the stage.
Exactly.
Not only that, would have been we would have been sworn by the moment we stepped on the stage. Two, we definitely would have been tased or shot or arrested, jumped if we slapped it.
Exactly. And going back to now Chris Rock, you saw when he got slapped, he stood there and almost said something. And I felt like he was about to just lay in
I feel like
to Jada and Will, just be like, look, if you thought that was bad, I'm about to really go off.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
And I will say this. I applaud him for being the bigger man and not saying anything. But he's a much bigger man than I am, because I would have laid into him.
Yeah, Chris Rock, like, he took that slap like a man and was a professional, moved, and he said his piece about it, moved on. And what was weird is, like I said, he was asked to leave. Will refused to leave. Sat in his chair, then won a award. Went up and did a speech.
And then apologized without apologizing, kind of.
Basically. And
it's like that TikTok song, apologize without actually apologizing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And so now you have post-Oscars. Everyone's like, is the Academy gonna ban him?
What are they gonna do about
what they're gonna do? And so what I thought was smart of Will to do,
put out an apology on Instagram.
Well, not only that, but he resigned from the Academy. He left himself.
See, I didn't know he had left.
Yeah, he left the Academy himself. And I thought that was a smart move, because instead of getting banned, he could leave himself and then possibly a few years later ask to rejoin. But what I thought was bad of the Academy
had banned him for 10 years.
Was after he resigned and left the Academy, you then ban him for a decade. Why ban someone who's not in the Academy at all? Because at that point, Will was out of the Academy.
I feel like that's the Academy kind of...
But see, if he applied for the Academy again, the only thing they had to do was deny him for 10 years without saying nothing.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were trying to
publicly say something about it.
Save themselves for not acting quicker before he resigned. And so I feel like the Academy made a bad decision by go ahead and banning him after he already left. Because now it's just like, so they can ban any actor now who's not a part of the Academy for anything. Because he wasn't part of the Academy when they announced that, hey, we're banning you for a decade. See you in 2032.
Yeah.
Or 2033.
I feel like what they should have done is... I feel like they should have done something, but like... privately.
Yeah, because it's just like...
Because either way, I feel like it would have broke news either way. But I feel like they should have just went to him privately and said, hey, I know you left, but you cannot rejoin for however many years.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not trying to condemn the Academy or say Will was right, but it is pointless to ban someone who's not a part of your organization already.
Yes. Now, I will say this about the whole situation. I understand that Chris Rock is a comedian.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
By the way, his ticket sales for his next shows that next week skyrocketed from, like, I want to say below $100 to, like, in the $400 per ticket.
But, like, I feel like he shouldn't have made a joke about someone's medical condition.
But she had no problem with it.
Oh, I understand that, but I feel like... Let me finish. I feel like he shouldn't have made fun of someone's medical condition, but I feel like Will Smith shouldn't have done what he had done.
Exactly. There could have been, like, if you're gonna slap the man, do it backstage. Don't do it in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
Now he might use the excuse, well, he made fun of my wife in front of the whole world. Why can't I slap him in front of the whole world?
Yeah. But I feel like...
But
what's funny about what happened is after he slapped him and Chris was like, "Whoa, Will Smith just slapped the crap out of me," and they sat down and said what they said, both exchanged. What's funny about it is it was all like the audio cut
only in America.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Only here in the States, but everywhere else it was like trending on Twitter.
Yeah, my first actual with audio view of it was from someone who videoed it in Australia.
See, I saw one from Australia. I've seen one from Japan as well. And I was like, it's weird that they... Because, see, my thing is, why censor it here but not other countries?
Exactly. It's odd. Now, I will say probably the FCC here is probably a lot stricter. And they muted it when they realized this wasn't a bit.
Yeah, that's probably what they did.
Because at first, Chris Rock himself thought it was just going to be a bit. That's why he had his hands behind his back. Like,
that's what, like, everyone in the audience thought, because if you look at when it happened, everyone's like, what is going on? Should I react? How do I react?
Exactly. But, yeah, for our Spotify question this episode, what do y'all think about this whole situation that happened at the Oscars? Do you think it was brought on by Will trying to break out of the shadow of Tupac, or what are your thoughts? Want more content from me and Randy? Go check us out on Twitch at Iceberg Gaming TTV and Itsktowngaming, where we stream multiple games live.
We're also on YouTube at Thomas RJ Engel and K-Town-Gaming, where we play 3 games and have other content for you to enjoy. If you want to follow us on social media, all of them will be in the details of this episode. Support us at patreon.com/TRJI, where you can get our content first before anyone. If you are unable to invest in us monetarily, then you can by following, leaving reviews, chatting with us, liking, commenting, and sharing. Thank you for the support.
Thank you for listening to the Iceberg Lounge. Don't forget to give us a follow, leave us a review, and share this episode. Know God loves you, and we love you, and always remember, all to God. See you in the next episode.